If you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you may know of Oak Hill Raceway. Oak Hill Raceway has been around for almost 50 years now. Awesome history at this track. It's under new ownership, so I got a message from the owner, the new owner. He reached out and said, hey, come check out the track, check out what we've done with the place, give me some opinions. So I'm here today to do a what to expect of Oak Hill Raceway. Let's talk about the dirt, let's talk about the track options, let's talk about the facilities. Hopefully we can answer some questions and have some fun out here. One of the first things I noticed about this track when I started looking into it was their online presence. They have a website, they have social media, Instagram, Facebook. I'll link all those things below, but they're active on all of those. That really helps to encourage people to know about the track and know what they have to offer. So the fact that, like last night, they got a lot of rain. They posted last night saying, we're gonna open up late on Saturday. These are our new updated hours, so that people had time to plan to make it out here. I really appreciated that coming from 5 hours away. They posted about 18 hours in advance, super helpful. They have a track dedicated to Stacycs. This is awesome. And it's actually a paved track too. Use your brakes. What'd you think?
Good.
Yeah? But for those that have pit bikes, 50s, 110s, they have this really cool PeeWee Track. It's a legit track. I mean, they've got some solid jumps out here, big berms. Even little dudes out on electric bikes. Super cool. You can see the littlest WeRideTwo rider right there. We've got Calix. He found the soccer field. So the owners of this facility have a turf company. Obviously, they are very skilled with turf. So they laid out a miniature scale soccer field, and it's awesome. They've got a volleyball net. They've got swings, toddler swings, picnic benches, even a basketball hoop. So when you're done riding for the day, or if you're not riding for the day like my son, he could just come out here and play with the soccer ball. Gives them something to do, keeps them active, keeps them off their screens, out of the truck, out of the RV, having a good time. Awesome to see that they have this as an option. They have over 200 RV hookups here. These guys are well situated for hosting full-scale national events. They have Loretta Lynn's coming here, I mentioned that, talking about bringing some GNC races back. But if you've got a camper and you want to come stay out here, there's enough to ride that you could be here all weekend too. There's multiple tracks, so if you've got an RV, they've got the hookup for you. The dirt is like a sand clay mix, so it's got a cool composite to it. It looks like it's holding the ruts pretty well. I gotta go run a couple laps and try it, but there's a lot of lines in all these turns. There's a couple turns, like there's one way back there that actually has an inside-outside with multiple lines in each. So super cool. Full starting gate. They're going through rebuilding everything, new signage. I just talked with the owner a lot about potential changes for the gates, so we'll see how that goes. But they plan to do a ton of racing out here, including Loretta Lynn's qualifier in the next month. When you check in, they give you a sticker based off of the skill level that you tell them you are. They have 3 separate groups that they're running: AB, CD, and small bike. They're doing that for the safety of all the riders out there. They're putting the stickers on to make sure that the person who is letting people onto the track and off the track keeps track of who's out there, how many people are out there, to keep everybody as safe as possible. So it's cool that they do that. Keep in mind, this is the last session of the day, and they had about 120 bikes through here today. And it's also my first time ever here. Don't judge me. Man, that's an intimidating takeoff. Just don't know what's on the other side of these jumps yet. The ruts are holding really well, actually, for as soft as it is. Alright, that was my first lap. So I just finished up my first session at Oak Hill. I have to say, the track has an awesome layout. I really do like the way it flows together. It's not super technical in the sense that you've got like switchbacks, and the ruts are there. You can see them in the video, but they're actually easy to ride. And it's not just me saying that because I'm good at ruts. You've seen me on the other videos, especially like underground. I'm terrible at ruts. So these ruts are more like berms in the turns. They hold up really well. The soil is really soft. It is a sand composite with some clay, so it compacts down, but it's soft. So make sure you have good tire tread. Make sure you're on the throttle, because when you're leaving these turns, your tire is gonna spin, and you wanna stay on the gas to keep it going forward. So you'll notice these flag stations all over the track. They have them on a lot of the jumps. Now right now, they're not all manned, but there are flaggers out. Like you've got a flagger in Tower 7, you've got a flagger over there, I believe that's 6. I don't know the numbers quite yet, but they're all on radio, so if somebody does go down, they can get out there and say, hey, somebody's down on jump 7, get the yellow flag out. Keeps it as safe as possible. And this is something that they plan to do the entirety of the time that they're open. This isn't just because of the new ownership. They want to keep this going to keep the kids out there safe, all the riders safe. So this jump is meant to be an homage to Laraco's Leap. It is a good sized jump. They did tell me that 50s do this jump. 50s can make it up the hill. They go fairly slow up the hill, but then they can take off and do the rest of it. They obviously can't jump it. But let's watch this little guy right here. Looks like he's on a 65 coming up and over. Nope, Cobra 50. See, if the 50 can double it, we all can. Right? Hopefully. Nice. This is a long track. So the main tower's been here for a long time, but they just redid it. There's 3 different levels to it. That's where they do all the announcing from, is in the middle room, but on the top, there's a top deck. You can actually see almost an entire 360 view of the track, which is phenomenal. Great place to spectate. Behind the tower, there's also bleachers, so you can go down there and sit and you can watch the race from down there too. So the starting line has a cool staging area where it's actually covered for the bikes before they get out onto the starting line itself. It is a very large gate. They just built this doghouse. They're going to paint it, make it look nice and pretty, but behind it there's also more staging that's covered. This is Texas. It gets hot in the sun, so they're looking out for the riders, making sure that they can stay as cool as possible. They've even put porta potties out there so that people don't have to be like Adam Cianciarulo and get fined for peeing on a tree rather than a porta potty. So it's cool that they have that. There's porta potties around the whole property. This is a work in progress, so this is something that looks very washed out right now because they haven't prepped it. This is a full-scale side-by-side racetrack. It is a massive track that takes up a huge amount of property and has some really big jumps. This is for those 800s, those 1000cc, the turbocharged side-by-sides. These are the guys that are flying through the air and having a blast doing it. They have a race coming up soon. They have a pavilion in here too. This is where they do the award ceremonies for all the racing that they have. Obviously they're working on this too. The new owners, they're going all out. They want this to be a massive success. It's a good turnout for today. Man, I love those sprinters. If anybody watching is a general manager or an owner of a Mercedes dealership, be interested in sponsoring an up-and-coming YouTuber, I'd love to work with you on a motovan build. They have ample parking everywhere. They also are doing reserved spots for some of the RV spots, which is awesome. You can call ahead. You don't have to show up on time. You can just reserve it. They've got your name and your number up front. That way you know which spot's yours and you can park there when you get into the track. Man, that side-by-side track is huge. The owner was pretty bummed that I came out today and not next weekend, because this right here, this blue building, is the cantina. They have margaritas, tacos, food, but they're only open on select weekends, so check their Facebook page to see when they're actually going to be open. A random thing to note, but it's worth noting, they have trash cans. Some tracks don't even have trash cans. They request you bring your trash bags with you and take your trash with you when you leave. So it's cool that they have trash cans out here. Please use them. When you come out here at any track, don't leave trash on the ground. Please respect the properties, use the trash cans when available, or just hang on to your own trash. So at the far back of the property, behind the main track, there is a track that they call the training track. I had a conversation with the owner last night. He doesn't necessarily want to call it a vet track, but this is a very vet-friendly track. It is something that is not groomed on a regular basis. There aren't no big jumps. There is a double, there's a couple rollers, but it's primarily a simple track. Let's go ride it and take a look. Again, ungroomed, untouched. There is washout everywhere, so we're just going to explore it. This is a new track that's coming, hopefully soon. Once they get some attention driven to this, should be an awesome track. Let's check it out. Be a great track to practice ruts on without having to worry about the jumps of the big track, because this is a very soft and sandy track. Woo! Very soft. Wow, that's deep. Cool off camber right here. Severely off camber. Now the owner said he doesn't want this to be a beginner track because he wants to keep it in rough shape. It's not going to be smooth for beginners, but I think a beginner could do it as long as they know how to stand the gas out of the turns. Way back at the property, they've got this track hidden away. Let's see what this one is. He told me they had a supercross track. Oh, there's the supercross track in the way back. This appears to just be a training track. Got some jumps, got some whoops, but it's not groomed, so I don't want to go on it and mess anything up. It's not prepped at all. Looks like it's still in process. Let's go check out the SX track. This is not currently prepped. This is only open to those who have their AMA Pro card. This is a legit supercross track. Check out those jumps. Man, those are booters. So the owner was telling me that this is built to spec as Anaheim 2. So this will be the same layout as the pros actually race on. That is awesome. This is a cool track. Terrifying to me. I would never be able to do this track. I could probably barely roll it, but it's cool that they have this as an option. I didn't put together my conclusion when I was at the track. I had so much going on. I was actually going to a different track afterwards. New video coming soon. But I missed the conclusion. I missed the points that I love to talk about. Things like, what's the drive time worth? Is it worth the cost to get in? Those are things that are really important, so I want to make sure I went back and covered that. First and foremost, it costs $40 to ride at Oak Hill. It's per day. They're typically open on Saturdays and Sundays. There are other days that they may be open. Check their social media. As I mentioned, they do a great job of posting their calendar in advance to when they're going to have organized practice and various different races. Check that out. Highly recommend it. I think it's worth $40. I do think that $40 is a good price point for the number of tracks they have, the scale of the tracks they have, and the operation that they're running. They have flaggers, they have staff, they have trash cans, they have a long track. It takes a lot of money to do that, so $40 is well worth it. Now, drive time. I drove just under 5 hours to get there. It was a long drive. Even my son came with me, as you saw in the video. I asked him when going home afterwards, would you go back? He said, yes. Absolutely. I said, even though it was a 5-hour drive, he said, yes, absolutely. If I have friends that want to go, if somebody says, hey, let's go ride Oak Hill next weekend, I'm in. I'm going back for sure. I loved the track, loved the family. Denny, thank you so much for having me out. Really appreciate the support, all the information you gave me. I hope that this is an awesome new venture for you. A question I get asked a lot too when I'm at the tracks is, where are you riding next? Where can we go ride with you? So I tried to solve that problem. On our website for WeRideTwo, I created an events page. That way you can see in advance where I will be going, where we'll be filming our next tracks, any events that we're doing. As always, come say hi, give me a high five, I'll give you a free sticker. To the riders out there, support the local tracks, go explore, ride some tracks that are not local, have fun, be safe, and I'll see you at the next track.